We are speaking with Mr. Graham Oliver. Welcome to the show, and good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jonathan. It's nice to be on here and get a chance to talk about something that I've become very intimate with since January of 2013, and that's hydraulic fracturing. And I'd rather not be talking about it, but with the announcement of the latest panel review, it's difficult not to. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the terms of reference and the documents that are with it, but
actually, I'll be honest, I want to, and I have them, but I have not had a chance to digest them. I've been doing double shifts now for the past couple of days. Well, here I am, right? So I haven't had time to do my homework. No,
you're working overtime, and in your job, that must be difficult to be on twice a day.
It's a little challenging to the brain for sure, but that's what keeps us active, and that's what keeps away things like if you do a crossword every day, apparently it staves off a bit of dementia or Alzheimer's. So I'm happy to speak about topics of the day as often as possible. However, it prevents me from doing the downtime research that is required. So, Graham, please give us an insight into what the terms of reference are about.
I'll try to, because there's 299 pages if you were to read all the documents, and I've read them. And they come with the terms of reference. This is for the panel review on hydraulic fracturing, which Derek Daly released on Friday morning at about 10 o'clock. So there's many documents, and I've read them. There's terms of reference. There's a history. There's geology of the Green Point Shale, which is the area from roughly along the west coast. And then there's the trilogy, which is 3 parts. You've got part 1, part 2, part 3. And I was wishing I was reading a Tolkien trilogy as opposed to a review on fracking, but such is life. The first of the trilogy goes into the guidance and leads you to part 3, which is extremely concerning, and I will go back to it later because I want to get on to our open letter. Part 3 is basically, in Newfoundland, Derek Daly and the Ministry of Natural Resources has put fracking in a box for Newfoundland. Those are the regulations that will be drafted that we have, and it is akin to Muskrat Falls, Bill 29, the drastic cutbacks they had at the college and for the budget, and closing up base gym, all these things, all these activities that government, when they come on in arrogance, do to say, this is what you're going to have, and we will do what we have to do to make sure it happens. So if you're doing Muskrat Falls, kick out the Public Utility Board. Mm-hmm. If you're doing hydraulic fracturing on the west coast in the Green Point Shale and you want to get it done, then get the Department of Natural Resources to put together a panel review. Have them recommend the names. Have them go to BC and Alberta, adapt them in their regulations for Newfoundland here, and say, here's fracking in a box. And placate the people. Mitigate them. Good word from the industry. Mitigate the people, and this is what it's all about. So I will
mitigate the people? Where is this? Where can I find it?
Well, the mitigating of the people is the mitigating of the people with a panel review that is set up to have a desired outcome. And and I have to say this from my point of view.
Yeah, you're essentially saying that this the 5-person fracking review panel is in essence already decided as to which way they will go. Am I getting this correct?
What I'm saying is that we sat down for 3 meetings with Derek Daly. We've been in quite a way along, also with Joan Shea, 2-hour meetings, or hour and a half to 2 hours. So we followed the process, and I must say that Minister Daly led us along and led us to believe he was listening to us, and he did. He had us set up an internal review, set up a panel review.
Okay.
But I think there became a point like, that's enough of this. Let's get on with this. It would be akin to when Tom Marshall came out for we had a panel.
And you'll hear the facts. Yeah, I remember that. Graham, I have to ask you a question.
Sure.
I know that former Premier Marshall came out and said, we're going to give you the facts, and therefore the underlying assumption is that those facts that they carry and that they will report to you are correct and you are incorrect. There are two sides to this. Frankly, there are more. There are as many facets as there would be a diamond, I would think, with respect to fracking all over the world, because conditions vary, depths vary, the technology seems to remain the same, however, but you are naturally opposed to fracking. You call yourself a fracking awareness group, but what you are is you are against fracking. Whole kit and caboodle.
Oliver will say unabashedly, or right to the core, he is an anti-fracker, opposed to fracking, does not feel that there is science out there. However,
therefore, hold on, I wasn't finished. Therefore, what you are, when you say that the Natural Resources Minister is giving you the time of day and did allow you to meet with them several times, as well as with former Minister Shea, the tone in your voice says that you think that the decision from the outset was already decided. So I got to ask you, if you go into this consideration process with such a negative view of what the process will, eventually arrive at, why would you do it in the first place?
I'm sorry. Why would I do which in the first?
Why would you consult with the ministers, the Fracking Awareness Group, if you already think that they're going to ignore your position?
Because it's the very reason, like I'm on the phone here, I'd rather be out in the front yard raking leaves and hiking and biking and kayaking. But I do believe that, if you think small people or small things don't have an effect, try sleeping in a tent with a mosquito. We've been doing this for a while because we've seen, and the people we have a committee, we have 3 teachers, some have been very prominent in this province in LTA, and others have been in groups, and we feel we have a right and a duty to educate the public and grassroots and get them going. It's not about facts in some case, it's about narratives. And the narrative of the oil industry, if I were this is a rhetorical question. Does Stephen Harper want to develop oil and natural resources right across this country and put in regulations to make sure it happens?
I don't know, but Graham, one thing I do have to say, if it is about the narrative and if the language is important, I think you should rename your group. You're not about awareness. You're about opposition.
But there is where you have an opinion on that. But have you ever been to one of the many presentations that we've done? I've done 30 presentations on fracking. Do you think I go in there and just say, rah, you got to get rid of this? You go through, in fact, some of the...
Yeah, there's a process. I understand that.
Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers of showing some slides of the... Fracking is a brilliant technology. It is an absolutely brilliant technology. You can get 12 times as much petroleum production out of a well, so why not do it?
Yeah, good question. I haven't been to one of your reviews, but I've done extensive reading on my own. I'm not an engineer. I'm not scientifically inclined, but I have a logical brain, so I am following the process. We have to go to the break here, but I want to just say I don't have a position one way or the other. The jury's out for me, but when I see a group, with all respect, you came on and you slammed the government for a number of issues right off the bat, and then you say, in your opinion, it's already done. The outcome is decided. And
I would not say it's totally decided, because remember the mosquito in the room?
Yeah, I do.
It's not totally decided, but I really would like people to review, the statements that have been said by some of the panel members, which I could put on.
Yeah, I saw that in the email, and I'll read those. Amazing, I'll read a few of those out over the air during the show. But Graham, call again, because I do want to continue the conversation. As I say, I don't have an official position here, but my position is that words matter. And,
one final note, 70% of the people in the latest ICOS poll say that they're against want a moratorium on fracking until the scientific facts prove it to be safe. I rest my case.
And,
Thank you, Jonathan, and I hope Patty as well gets better and that you don't burn out.
I'm going to do my best not to. Thanks, Graham.
Okay, I enjoyed the conversation.
Cheers, my friend. Bye-bye.